Luke Coutinho Lifestyle, Holistic Healing Systems. And she's very passionate to work with adults and kids alike to give them a holistic healing from within rather than, going and getting some procedures done. So, Deepika and I are going to talk today how we can help our kids fight constipation because we all know, like, kids get constipated very often. Sometimes they just won't poop for a couple of days. So Deepika here is going to help us with home remedies and food that we can give them at home to treat this condition. So very warm welcome to you, Deepika.
Thank you, Barka. Thank you for the lovely introduction and looking forward to this session. And I hope that I add a little value to everyone who is watching this live session today. And in case their kids are facing constipation issues, then it should sort out within few days itself with the tips that we'll be discussing today.
Right. So I'm a mom, right? My 3-year-old daughter these days, I mean, her poop routine used to be very consistent, right? But then since a last couple of days, I've noticed, I think she was sick in between. She got like a viral, and after that, I've started noticing this that now she's pooping on alternate days. Like she's
Okay.
not pooping every day. So maybe we can just get started talking about that.
Sure, sure. So sometimes what happens is, yes, our kids fall often. It is due to the weather, due to low immune system as well. I myself am a mother of two daughters, so I can totally relate to what you are talking right now. So if you're giving them antibiotics, the antibiotics not just kills the infection-causing bacteria, but they also kills our good gut bacteria, the bacteria which are needed for proper gut functioning, whether it is digestion, absorption, pooping, controlling bloating, or acidity. So when we put our kids on antibiotic, the good bacteria starts depleting, and that's where the constipation can be a consequence of the antibiotic per se. So in such cases, it's very important for us to add pro and prebiotics in their food. It could be through supplements. So whenever you or your doctor are putting your kids on any kind of antibiotic, do talk to them about probiotics as well, which will help them in improving the gut bacteria. And naturally as well, probiotics can be made at home with the help of our very own rice. So you have to take 1 or 2 tablespoon of cooked rice, mix it with a cup of water, and then store it overnight. So when you store it overnight, this rice gets fermented, and during this process of fermentation, the good gut bacteria are produced internally. And then in the morning, you can give this rice to your kid, just 1 tablespoon of rice, and ask them to drink the water. So this will help them in balancing the gut bacteria properly. And when I talk about prebiotics are nothing but the fiber that we get from our food, which acts as a food for our probiotic or food for our good bacteria. So you can give them almonds, you can give them garlic in cooked form, you can give them apple with the skin. So all of these things acts as a fiber which helps in overcoming constipation, plus they also act as a prebiotic for the good bacteria. So that's how combination of pro and prebiotic works really well in controlling constipation or any digestion issues that a kid or an adult is facing when they're put on antibiotic dose for that matter.
So basically, the rice that you told me about, that's quite interesting. So, like, are they supposed to have this like empty stomach before food, after food? Is there any method that we need to follow here?
Right, right. So empty stomach would be a really good idea because early morning empty stomach, our body is more receptive to different kind of nutrition. So if you provide probiotics first thing in the morning, and plus probiotics also gets absorbed in an empty stomach, acidic environment. Early morning, because we are fasting overnight, so our body is mostly acidic. That's when the probiotic gets absorbed properly. So first thing in the morning, you can give them rice kanji with the water, and then after like half an hour to 45 minutes, you can start their routine, whether it can be a fruit or a breakfast that they want to have.
So this home remedy is for adults as much as it's for kids, and it is safe
Yes.
for like kids over 1 year to have it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because we start giving kids basically the weaning food after 6 months,
Right.
and our very first food that we introduce to them is a dal khichdi or
Rice
a
and dal.
rice.
Right.
Yes. So rice is always, beneficial for our kids, and we can definitely start the rice kanji after first year itself.
Right. Okay, noted. And this rice has to be cooked normally, like how we cook our rice, like with salt or a little oil or what.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or you can just mix rice and water, put it in a cooker for steaming. The rice that you particularly prepare at night. So you might be having little rice which is left.
Lucky.
So you can use the same rice. You don't have to cook a separate rice for preparing the rice kanji.
Okay, noted. So let's quickly get started about like the topic today is five foods that will help us help our kids combat constipation.
Right.
So what are like these five foods? So even if like my uh, child is not constipated say currently, but then I don't want it to come, want them to eventually get constipated. So what like what is the kind of diet plan or the meal or foods that I should include in the diet so that they don't get constipated?
Okay, great. So, moving on to the very first point that I would want to discuss with all of the parents is that they don't ask their kids to have much of a roughage or fiber. So, if the kids are liking just the rice and dal or roti and sabzi or roti and dal, they go ahead with the same. But I have hardly seen any parent asking their kids to have like a rainbow, colorful salad in their plate. Salad or fiber or vegetables are very important because, as I mentioned earlier, they contain fiber.
Right.
Fiber helps in adding bulk to your motion. If your motion gets bulk, that's when the constipation will be under control, or you'll never face constipation for that matter. If your meal is lacking roughage or fiber, your motion tends to get harder, and that's when constipation occurs, because then you have to put more pressure for passing that stool out of the body or excrete it out. So that's where adding at least half a cup of fiber or salad, which could be any vegetable that your kids like. So it could be cucumber, it could be onion, carrots, steamed French beans. All of these vegetables are completely fine to have for a kid as well, and let them have it with each meal if possible, so that they get good amount of fiber, good amount of roughage to add bulk to their motion, and then they will not face any kind of constipation issue. So this was the first tip with regards to fiber. Second is water. As I told you, even I have two daughters, and two daughters are like completely different. My elder one drinks around 2.5 liters of water throughout the day, so her stomach is completely clean. But my younger one hardly drinks just a liter of water. And when you're adding fiber, when you're adding food in your kid's body, it also needs that water for digestion, for absorption. Our body is actually made up of 80% of water itself. So if there is lack of water, that's when what the body tries to do is it starts leaching out water from the stools that are getting stored in the colon. So when the colon is absorbing or reabsorbing water from the stool starts becoming harder and harder. And if the stool gets harder, it's very difficult for us to pass the motion, and that's how the kids also are not able to pass the motions properly. And there they start facing constipation, or sometimes they say that there's a tummy ache because they are not able to clear out the motion properly. So
Right.
that's where increasing their water intake becomes very important. If they are not drinking good enough amount of water, then there are higher chances that they would be constipated. Now again, depending on their activity, depending on their sleep pattern, how much food they are eating, it's important to manage your kids water intake. Since they are highly active as compared to us adults, we are mostly sitting and doing our job, but
Right.
they are moving around throughout the day, so they lose that water from the body during their activity, because they are sweating, because they are playing so much, so they actually need more water. And that's where we also have to train them, like how we do potty training for kids. We also have
Right.
to do water training for kids, that no matter what, you have to drink your water, just to make sure that you don't feel constipated, you don't feel dehydrated, you don't see any kind of skin issues as well, for that matter. Because when the water intake goes down, we do notice that the skin of the kids start getting a little dry
Right.
and rough. So that's where we have to make sure that water intake is also very important for the kids. to overcome any kind of digestion issues and most importantly constipation.
Right.
Great. Apart from the do's, I actually also wanted to talk about what you should not give your kid to avoid the constipation.
Right.
So, as a mother, we always feel that, our kids should eat everything and anything they want, basically. So, if they're not liking like a roti and sabzi, we mix the sabzi and roti together, like make like a wrap, and in that sabzi we tend to add more cheese, thinking that the kids will love it and then they will eat their food properly. But we have to understand that when we do or overdo on cheese, basically cheese is a fat, and it actually delays the gastric emptying, so it keeps the motions in the stomach itself. It doesn't allow the gastric movement to happen. It delays the gastric emptying, and that's when the constipation can occur. So if you are a mother who is doing cheese on a daily basis, then it is definitely not good for your kid, because you might be giving them the healthiest food to eat. But if you are doing cheese on a daily basis, then you're also affecting the motions, so they might feel constipated, and if there is constipation, then there is toxin buildup happening in the body. That's where they might complain about stomach ache, stomach pain, flatulence and gas as well. So overdoing on cheese is not really good. Yes, giving them cheese once or twice a week is completely fine, because, as I said, they're highly active and their body needs that kind of energy from the fats that you get, but in moderation. Don't overdo on cheese, because that will just lead to more of constipation issues. Apart from this, in case you feel that your kid is facing constipation, then start giving them a bowl full of green leafy vegetables. It could be in the cooked form, it could be in the soup form, it could be made in a sabzi form with kind of paneer or any other vegetable, because green leafy vegetables have chlorophyll in it. And I'm sure that most of the kids will not have green leafy vegetables easily. So we just have to find a trick on how we can incorporate these green leafy vegetables in their routine. So I particularly make soup for my kids, or sometimes mix paneer with palak and make it. Though it's not a healthy combination, but sometimes
Yes.
giving palak with the paneer is beneficial, because they will get the benefits of the leafy vegetable. So try and incorporate leafy vegetables for them on a regular basis, if not daily, at least alternate day or 2 to 3 times a week, because green leafy vegetables have chlorophyll in it. This
Right.
chlorophyll acts as a broom. So it cleans your colon completely, which helps you in overcoming the constipation. So if you give your kid like a palak soup or a leafy vegetable in the night, the next morning itself you'll see that their stomach is completely clear, they are able to pass a proper motion. So that's how green leafy vegetables will really be helpful. Apart from this, with constipation, sometimes, as I said, the toxin buildup increases in the body. That's where they also start facing bloating issue, gas, burping, sometimes, the smelly farts, or you see that their breath as well starts smelling foul. So in this case, what you can do is, apart from increasing the water intake, you can just try and add like a fennel or jeera or ginger in their water. So fennel and ginger actually have carminative properties. So they really give rest to the digestive system. They ease out any kind of bloating, and they also have digestive enzymes, which really works well on improving the overall digestion and overcoming the constipation as well. So what y'all can do is take half a teaspoon of ginger juice and mix it in a cup of water and give it to your kids. You can even add 2 3 drops of lemon to the same. So lemon and ginger together will definitely make the body more alkaline, and it will also help in improving the digestive enzymes of the stomach. For fennel and jeera, you can take one teaspoon each, or you can take 1 teaspoon at a time. If you don't want to give both the things together, you can give it separately as well. So one teaspoon of fennel and jeera, boil it in around 200 to 250 ml of water for 3 to 4 minutes, and then you can strain and let your kid drink this infusion. It is clear, it is tasteless, it doesn't taste pungent, it doesn't taste too strong, so they will definitely enjoy it. And this will definitely work on improving their constipation, this will work on improving their, bloating, burping, gas production in the stomach, particularly when they face constipation issues. So that was about the Indian spices that you all have in the house, but maybe you have stopped using it, thinking that it will not be too good for the kids. So we are done with the four tips about
Yes.
constipation, and fifth would be again, don't for a constipation. So I've seen again many kids coming to us, or many kids in the surrounding as well. They overdo on sugar. Though kids don't have really a sweet tooth, but just because they see some sweets lying at home, they keep on munching on them. It could be homemade sweets, it could be chocolates, it could be cookies or anything. But we have to understand that the white processed sugar that we generally use in chocolates or cookies or anything are not really good for their digestion, because white processed sugar is processed. Anything that is processed is difficult on digestion. Plus, sugar can feed the bad bacteria in the stomach, and if the bad bacteria starts increasing, they will outnumber the good bacteria, and this is how they can get into a cycle of again constipation, digestion issues, acidity. So it's good that you keep them away from the white processed sugar, and at the same time I can totally understand that they are kids, so it's very difficult for us to keep the kids away from the sweets. So you can try and make healthy sweets at home, which could be made with either jaggery or coconut sugar for that matter, because these are healthy sweets, healthy sugar options, which has other minerals like magnesium and vitamins as well, which will help them in improving their immune system, improving their stamina and strength as well. So try and substitute the white processed sugar part with the healthy options like jaggery and coconut sugar, and you can definitely give sweets to your kids. But again, moderation is the best policy, whether it is for the kids or for the adults. If they are overdoing on sugar or sugar loaded stuff or junk food as well for that matter, then there are higher chances that they could feel constipated, and then you will be in trouble, because then you will be running behind them that you have to poop now, you have to sit on the pot for some time, and I'll be there with you. So you have to
Yeah.
actually leave all your job and just be behind your kids when they feel
Right.
constipated.
Right. So I think these tips were quite helpful, and like as a mom, I think I can incorporate like all of them in our daily
Great.
routine. So I had one question. Like, can you like just give like a sample diet plan for a child, like say 2 years or a 3 year old who's facing constipation, like breakfast, lunch, dinner kind?
Okay. So, first of all, every kid is different. So it's not like one size fit all.
Right.
But however, what you can try and do is start your kids' routine with a rice kanji first thing
Right.
in the morning, which will help in improving the gut bacteria, because generally people don't give their kids probiotics. But this is
Right.
the good source of probiotics. So you can definitely start with rice kanji and observe on how your kid is responding with it. Post the rice kanji after say 45 minutes or an hour, they can have breakfast. Any home cooked breakfast is completely fine. And India is like a very diverse country. So you can definitely give them like a poha made with, peanuts, or upma made with peanuts and roasted chana. Idli and dosa are really good option for breakfast. So you can add all these options for breakfast. In between breakfast and lunch, if the gap is more than 3 to 4 hours, then you can definitely add a fruit as well. So when you add fruit, it again gives fiber to the body, it keeps the body alkaline, it provides digestive enzymes, so overall digestion will get better. So you can give them 4 to 5 soaked nuts, which could be almonds, walnut, anything that they like, along with the fruits, and this will be their mid meal. It can be given between breakfast and lunch, and between lunch and dinner as well. So this could be the snacking option. Lunch could be roti, sabzi, dal, and salad, as I said, because salad becomes very important to just overcome any kind of digestion issues or constipation. Roti can be, made up of millets, or it could be made up of your wheat roti. If not roti, then you can substitute it with rice as well. If a person is a non-vegetarian, so instead of a dal, they can even go ahead and have like a chicken curry or a grilled chicken, or chicken cooked in any form, along with a little amount of sabzi and salad on the side. So this could be your lunch. And dinner, like it's better for the kids to have early dinner, because they have school the next day, so they have to sleep a little early. So the most important tip I would like to give over here to all the parents is the gap between the dinner and bedtime should be more than 2 hours. Because if your kid is eating dinner and sleeping within an hour, what you're doing is you're not allowing the body to digest the food properly. They're lying down, with a straight body when the digestion actually is on. So this can allow the stomach acids to trickle up their esophagus and reach the throat, which can give them frequent cold and cough issues, frequent throat irritation. So that's why keeping 2 hours minimum gap between the dinner and bedtime is ideal. Dinner can be same as lunch, but try to keep the quantity a little lesser, because post sunset our body becomes very sluggish, our digestion becomes very sluggish, so it can't digest heavy food, or it can't digest too much quantity of food. So that's why keeping the quantity in mind, controlling it for dinner particularly, becomes very important. So it could be roti or rice with sabzi, and dal or chicken or any other non-veg option for that matter, with little amount of salad on the side. So this is how you can plan your kids' day.
Wow, I think this is really helpful for me and for all the moms who are watching us live. And we have a few questions. I'm going to read them out for you, but I think
Sure.
you've mostly answered all of them throughout our talk. But we'll quickly just sum it up for our reader.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
मेरा बेबी 2 years का है, उसको कॉन्स्टिपेशन रहता है, प्लीज सजेस्ट फूड फॉर हिम जिससे ये समस्या ना रहे.
Okay, so we already suggested foods
Yes.
for the baby. We can start him on palak soup. We can give, fiber in the form of salad. If your baby is just 2 years, definitely it's very difficult for them to have the whole salad, like whole form. So you can blend vegetables and give it to him, wherein you don't, strain the fiber. You can just puree the vegetable and give to your baby, so that fiber from the puree works on overcoming the constipation. And at the same time, the baby is 2 years old, so try and make sure that you give them proper amount of water as well. They are so small that they don't understand when they get dehydrated. At least if the baby is 5 6 years old, they can come and tell you that I'm feeling thirsty, but 2 year baby can't tell you that. So that's why hydration becomes very important. So keep a check on that, and you can give vegetable purees, palak soup, etc., to overcome the constipation.
Mm, thank you, doctor. Durga Salvi has asked, my daughter is 5 years old. She has constipation. Can you share some home remedies for her?
Okay, so we have already shared home remedies. Just check when the constipation started. So it's also very important, to observe on what has led to constipation for your kid, and try and avoid those things. So for you, Barkha, for your daughter, it was the antibiotic that led to constipation, right? So if your daughter has also taken antibiotic, and that's when the constipation has started, then you need to start her on the rice kanji at the earliest to get the probiotics, the good bacteria in the stomach, which will take care of the constipation. And other remedies that we discussed today, so avoiding too much of cheese, avoiding sugar, adding green leafy vegetables or vegetable puree in her meal or salads for fiber, will definitely work on overcoming the constipation part.
That helps. Thank you so much for answering all our questions, Deepika. Would you want to like just give our readers like an end note of sorts, like just to sum up our conversation here?
Great. So it was really nice interacting with you, Barkha, and to all out there. I hope that you start following certain tips that I shared over here. As I said, it's always important for us to understand on what is creating constipation for the babies. We should get to the root cause. only when we get to the root cause, that's when we will find out the reason for the constipation, and we will avoid that reason so that the baby isn't constipated anymore. When it comes to snacking as well, I've seen many mothers giving their kids snacks which is more of a junk, more of sugar laden things, more of cheese loaded options. But these food actually are creating constipation for your baby. So just observe if you're doing so, and if you are, then try and avoid those food options from today itself, so that your baby doesn't feel constipated. And in case you're searching for like really good clean products for your babies, because it's very difficult to find clean products for the babies as a snacking option, then you can definitely go and check YouCare Lifestyle website as well, wherein you'll get good clean products like jawar puffs and other things, even healthy snacks like ragi bites, crackers, and sweets which are made out of jaggery and coconut sugar. So you can shift their junk food to a healthy option, and that's where the constipation and other issues related to gut or any other thing in the body will start coming under control. But do try and follow these tips on a regular basis, and you can keep us posted on how your babies are feeling, whether the constipation got better or not.
Yes, Dr. Deepika is on the Baby Chakra app, and in case we have any follow up questions, she can answer that for you. So, thank you so much, Deepika, for coming live with us and answering our questions.
It's my pleasure, Barka. Thanks for having me here, and I thoroughly enjoyed the session.
Same here. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.